What is going on, BenchWarmers? Welcome back to Game Week numero dos, number 2. Do it. Do? What? Any other? The. Okay. I am one of your hosts. My name is Eric.
Nico Nick.
John, a.k.a. Gat.
Diego Statro.
And making sure everything runs smoothly.
Marco, barely.
Marco, thank you. But
Crack
yes,
producer.
Dormido,
Crack
Marco.
producer. Today, obviously, we already gave you a recap last episode, and thank you so much for those interactions. It's been great. Again, if you want to do it, if you want to interact with us, you want to come on the pod, if you want to give us your topics, you can always do so on the following platforms. Everything in the description down below. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. We've been having a lot of interactions from you listeners and viewers. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, we are in America, so if anybody's wondering, America. But yes, we'll definitely we enjoyed it. So please share your thoughts and join us on the bench. This is what we're all here for, to share our opinions. A lot to get into today. We have some gaming predictions. We have some fantasy predictions, or pickups and drops, fantasy 15, as you guys are calling it, which I'm really liking. All right, so we'll definitely get that to the very end. But I think we have something to kind of kick off the episode. I didn't give it during the rundown because I wanted it to be more of like that's pretty cool.
All right, let's get it.
So if you give me just 2 seconds, I'll be right back. All right, just play something like doo doo doo. I'll be right back.
Elevator music, hold music. I'm scared, bro. Whenever he does things like this, it's like you have to really you have to come up with, I don't know. I just want to be prepared for the worst. You know what I mean?
You have to get things out of your ass, basically.
Because he's the kind of person when he does shit like this, like you literally have no idea what he's gonna come back with.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be like an actual physical question. Those to the what if this or that? Like choose one, and then this is what he's doing right now.
Oh, yo.
Did you almost drop the Malta?
What?
Malta? What's it called?
Mate.
Mate, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Don't be
puta,
disrespecting my
I don't
people.
drink it.
my
I'm sorry. I don't drink it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, that's a disrespect to your culture,
That's
guy.
what I just said.
yeah.
Don't disrespect my
See,
people.
we have something called Malta, so that's why it's nasty.
This is better.
And
Well,
I would assume so.
This
Not
is-
only
this
did
is
he,
better.
not only did he mispronounce it, he said it was nasty, like what he said. It was.
Malta's horrible, bro.
Sure, bro. Malta's
Bro, the
Malta's
ones
nice.
that
Malta's nice. What
Malta's
you
horrible.
mean?
Isn't that Puerto Rican? No.
No, we also
No,
have it.
I don't know about that. I don't know if it's.
I know. I
exclusively
think
Puerto Rican,
the islands have it,
What the fuck?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
but
There's a tiger behind you, bro.
oh,
but- yeah, it's a
shit.
tiger. It's a tiger.
I thought
shit.
the King Tiger is right in front of me. What are you talking about?
A la verga
Be-
con
because we
ustedes,
wanted
bro.
That way. There's no space here.
because we wanted
Gotta
to
do
start
that
off this episode the right way. We had one member of our bench celebrate another trip around the sun. We're gonna put our hands together for our own Gat. Congratulations, Gat.
Thank you.
We
Guys.
got a birthday going on. We're putting on the super long candles here. So you gotta make a wish.
Shit.
Don't blow on it. Just use a book.
Here.
For
you
Diego's
can
perfect-
use
for
my
Di- for
notebook.
Diego's
You can
sake,
use my notebook,
please.
but before you make a wish, just think of United and think of United hard, please.
Listen, I did the same last year and it didn't work out.
Did you tell anybody what your wish was?
I think
That's
I
why.
did.
Yeah, you
Fuck.
All right.
Yeah. You
So
see? All right,
are
Gat.
we gonna sing for him?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
Cha,
Giggity Gat. Happy birthday to you. Giggity Gat. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Giggity Gat.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, now take a few seconds. Think about it hard.
Alright, what do I want to wish for? What do I want to wish
Close your
Don't
eyes.
tell us,
It's
bro.
pretty simple, honestly, yo.
There should be only one
You have
wish.
so many options. I mean, it's pretty simple to choose.
All right.
There you go.
Hey, he did it.
All right. Yes.
Let's go, Gat.
Happy
Let's
birthday,
go,
Gat.
Gat.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
We missed you on Monday, but we were
Yes.
happy that you got to celebrate another birthday, and we were celebrating this with you. So,
I really enjoyed the dinner, by the way. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
can we pause this real quick just to kind of like cut the cake up and
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
All right,
yeah.
so
We'll
we're
be
gonna
right back.
do a quick little pauser, and yeah, we're gonna get the cake cut up and then continue with the
We'll
episode.
BRB.
So, BRB. And we're back. So yes, awesome. Happy birthday, Gap. And we got more birthdays.
Thank
coming
you.
up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Birthday,
It's a
Gat.
very, very busy month.
Yeah.
Next few months.
This
So
is
It's a good
this-
month.
This is the best month.
Still-
Right, Marco? This is the
Yeah,
best.
of
This is the
course,
best
bro.
month of the year.
Of course. Still in the second decade, right?
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
I'm the second
All
youngin'
right.
around here.
So now that we got all that fun stuff out of the way, now we can get into the real the gritty stuff. But before we get to the gritty stuff, you know, I have to give you a little
another surprise?
WD-40. What?
You have another surprise?
little WD-40.
I got some lube if you want.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna give it right now. So I have a quick question for you guys. Diego, you've obviously watched it. Mark, have you seen the All or Nothing yet? Have you guys watched it at all? No. All right. Well, there's I made a joke earlier about when the heart connects and the brain connects. I'm sure you've seen the meme of the drawings that I made and his little.
I love him, by the way.
I love him. I'm in love with him. But his
This is a graph of where we are, of how happy I am. This is me. I am dead.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Yo, shit. I love this. I love him. But that kind of in my mind started to make me think like, damn. From the outside looking in, yeah, it's trolly. It's super trolly. But if you're in a locker room, how would you approach a team talk before a big game? You go in calm and collected, or are you going in like passionate, loud, like, come on, guys, get everybody riled up, or are you gonna be
I think
this is it.
it depends on who the team is, because I mean, even just outside the locker room, you have to know your audience.
Mhm.
So you have to know exactly who you're talking to before you can decide how you want to take it. So it depends. It just depends on what kind of locker room you have. If you have players that respond more to passion and to that kind of go attitude, then of course you go that way. But otherwise, personally, I would always opt for just calm, cool, and collected. Like you don't want to rile them up too much. Whether it's a good rile up, you just want to just play it simple. It's just another game. Let's just do what we do best. Let's play our game and take it from there.
I feel like it also depends on the message you're trying to come across. Like what you're trying to tell them.
That's true.
Because if it's a final, if it requires that energy, that burst of energy that you want to implement and like push into the players, then of course you're gonna go a little bit more loud, a little more, just start yelling a little bit more, right? But if it's not that, then you do it more of a quiet session kind of thing.
Hold hands,
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
Hello. Yeah, I look at you. I think you'd be the calm and cool approach. How about you, Nick? I feel like you'd be kind of like, get in there, Jordan Henderson. Get in there.
It would be
No,
Henderson to the bench.
I just walk into the room and be like, all right, get out the room.
What are you still doing here?
I think it'd be the calm guy. I think there's this video of Zinedine Zidane. I think it was the 2017 Champions League final against Juve. And it was I think it was a halftime talk, I believe, and he was just very calm. As well, I think Didier Deschamps before France's World Cup in 2018 versus Croatia, just very calm, cool, and collected, just delivering a speech. And I feel like more of the players take on that role, like getting them riled up, like as a captain. Like for example, in that Didier Deschamps video, it was like Paul Pogba. Maybe you guys have seen it before, like speaking in French. You know what I mean? And then it was also in Zidane's video, Sergio Ramos. So I think it's more of the players, maybe the captain getting really, because I feel like maybe, I don't know, would you guys say that the captain or the manager is more in tune with their players?
The captain. I would be the captain.
Definitely the captain, especially because the captain's the one that's actually out there and can adapt to what's going on in the game and, rile up who he needs to rile up.
Yeah, so I'd go calm approach.
Okay.
I'd probably use I like the example, since we're referencing All or Nothing. There were a few times where Arteta began with like an emotional connect with his players. And he was, and what the behind the scenes, I love that. I love that shit, because he was like, this is the worst week that I've ever had. The media's killing me. The other teams are killing me. I know the ownership is backing me. He's like, and then he just ends it with, thank you for reminding me why I love doing this job as a manager. And I feel like I would probably go with that emotional connection first. And I think there is a time to kind of get like lit up. And what I think about is, I wonder what that approach would be like with the famous, Ferguson hairdryer treatments and stuff like that. How sometimes players respond to that if you know how to connect with the right message. So to Marco's point, it really depends what you're trying to deliver. And obviously, like, there are certain situations which call for it, but I think having that first emotional connect, but then bringing it up a notch so that way they feel that passion too, I'd probably go that route. I think I would.
Damn. I would love to be a fly on the wall in these locker rooms. Hearing, Arteta's talking and Conte's talking to Spurs locker room. Like I would want to know what's hearing both sides. So yeah, it's great series. Definitely watch it. If you haven't watched it, start from the Man City was the first one.
Yeah,
then Spurs, and now the Arsenal. So definitely watch it. It's a great insight as to how the runs actually work, how other clubs actually run, and just the human aspect of the game, which is kind of forgotten about sometimes. most of the time. Let's be honest. But with that being said, I think we are ready for kickoff. We good?
Yeah,
Yes.
man. Hit that
Let's
one.
do it.
Do it. All right. So first game on the docket here. We can dive into it. I'm just more curious to see if how Aston Villa are going to bounce back, and Everton's debutants to come to play. Should be kind of interesting to see. So, do you think Steven Gerrard, Nick, is gonna find his rhythm in this game? They are at home. But, I mean, they look pretty bad last game.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up Diego Carlos last time.
Oh
man.
yeah,
But he played against Bournemouth, right?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't watch the highlights. Does anyone know if he was terrible, as expected? They lost 2-0, so must have been. But this game, though, I mean, it's a battle of the famous two English central midfielders, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard. Now they're managers, and they're not very good managers compared to they're pretty good players. So, but I don't know. The way Steven Gerrard steps his Villa team is I've always said it's so narrow. So he uses almost as a diamond a little bit. So he uses Coutinho or Buendia behind Ollie Watkins. And then he had, I think last game against Bournemouth, he'd play Leon Bailey almost as a striker next to Ollie Watkins. I just think it's so narrow and there's just no width to it. So I really struggle to see how he approaches his the games because he has an immense amount of talent. Remember that midfield that I mentioned? Jacob Ramsey, Boubacar Kamara? Man, that's a midfield you see at Madrid or Barcelona, not at Aston Villa or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see how this game goes on Everton's end. I think they're about to sign Che Adams on a loan. I don't know.
I haven't.
Does
heard
anyone
that.
rate Che Adams?
Nah, man. No way. No way.
But didn't he have that good fantasy year or no?
He did, but that was just because he was the only option they had. And then the thing is that Broja showed up.
Fucking bro.
Broja showed up, and he was the biggest trap ever.
And then he cucked everybody.
Yeah. Which for what it's worth, he's one of the two strikers, or at least recognized forwards that Chelsea have at the moment. They don't really seem like they trust him either. So I think that says enough. If the guy that replaced Che Adams isn't even being looked at to do what he was doing, I think Che Adams really. No offense, because obviously I'm not going to be doing anything that Che Adams does anytime soon. But Che Adams isn't going to measure up to what Southampton need right now, and they definitely need to be on their toes to be scoring.
Who do you guys rate more as a manager, Lampard or Gerrard?
I read that Gerrard's record was already similar to Neville's at Valencia.
Yeah, I
something
saw
like that. You saw that?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
I don't know because Lampard,
They're both bad.
they're both pretty bad, but
As manager,
Lampard has a decent track record, at least at Chelsea. He was able to get them top 4 and keep them stable without Eden Hazard, with the transfer ban, and also developing the likes of Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Fikayo Tomori, Reece James. I mean, there's as an actual manager in terms of tactics on the pitch, I think he's probably the worst manager in the league. But
where you going with this?
No. But his track record, at Chelsea, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel at Chelsea, not in terms of actually getting Chelsea to what Thomas Tuchel did in terms of winning a Champions League, but actually setting a foundation so that Thomas Tuchel could come in and really get that team to another level. I thought Frank Lampard did a pretty decent job. But
Lampard's vibes FC, bro. But it's gonna be interesting. Everton this weekend. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, going at it this weekend. Onana, Tarkowski, McNeil, Cody.
they're pretty decent pickups. But
They're
again, are they going to fit Frank Lampard's philosophy? So
I think this is going to be a good test to see if the foundation you're talking about is actually going to get implemented into Everton this season, right? Again, a lot of people have them getting relegated. I have them in that battle as well.
Me too.
So will these signings maybe give them more life? I don't know. I think tomorrow's going to be tomorrow. Was this Friday kickoff?
No, it's Saturday.
Saturday
kickoff?
early
normal.
I think it'll be an interesting game. So how do you guys see it going?
Oh yeah, predictions right over here.
Well, is this a game? Is this a prediction game?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Save it for last.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
we'll
was a
save it
prediction
for
game.
last.
My bad. So we'll save that prediction game for the in-season tournament that we're doing. We'll save that prediction for last. Next one on the docket: Man City versus Bournemouth. I have one question for you guys, and I'll keep it very simple. How many goals does Haaland get this game?
At least 2, man.
4.
4? Oh my god! There was a quote I read, and it also is part of some of the fantasy stuff we have for later. But there's a quote I read that Guardiola had mentioned, where basically he's alluding to the fact that now his team is starting to identify, or they're making it a priority to identify those forward runs by Haaland more. And I think if the guy that's telling them what to do and how to do it on the pitch has already identified that, and now he's drilling it into them, it's only a matter of time before Haaland starts going off crazy. So I would say at least 2. 4, I don't know about that, but I think at least 2.
There's gonna be one tapping. Is he just gonna? There's gonna be one, at least one tapping. Book it, bro. There's gonna be at least one. Tapping.
I think all this hype around this one game in particular, it's gonna be that one game where
Everyone has a
where
captain
where
as well.
Bournemouth's gonna park the bus,
Of course,
Oh.
and there's gonna be nothing happening in this game. Watch.
Oh,
Bournemouth parking the bus is probably.
I
The
don't.
worst thing
That's
you can do.
not what I'm saying is gonna happen. It's just that's what it feels like. All this hype around this one game. Watch it turn out to be that kind
so
of game.
are you gonna say Haaland doesn't score?
I'm gonna say he definitely has to score at least a hat trick.
a hat trick, at
Oh
least a
my
hat trick.
At
God.
least.
I'm giving him a hattie too.
At least.
Really?
Not 4 goals. Tranquilo, Nick. Tranquilo, tranquilo. First of all, Nick, the fact that you quickly switch your stance on the hotline, I'm just really curious about this.
No, because the reason
You
why
saw
You
the
saw the
light.
light? You saw the
You
light?
saw
no,
the
I
light.
was. All right,
Just
first
say
of all,
it. Just
I'll
say
I'll
it.
say
Say
it.
it.
Go ahead.
No,
Just
no,
say
no.
it.
Before when David Ornstein tweeted out that Erling Haaland is gonna join Man City, I was like, what's the difference between him and Lukaku? And I was like, and then I remember I said in the chat, I was like, I think Lukaku scored a brace against Wolves, and I was like, bookmark it. If Erling Haaland joins City and Lukaku stays at Chelsea, Lukaku will outscore Haaland, right?
Right.
We obviously won't know. He probably wouldn't, but then I was like, man, like I always said, a guy who cheats his XG and this Man City side who create a fuck ton of chances, I just don't see how he flops. So
So
I
you
was
saw
like,
the light.
Huh?
Saw the light.
I saw it late.
Oh no, no.
I think honestly, I'm not. If I would have seen that, especially how Liverpool and Man City are like so neck and neck, and I see that Haaland, I'm like, fuck him, he's not doing shit. But deep down, I was like, he's gonna fucking kill it. I know he is. So maybe is that Hattie? 4 goals. Hattie, 2
Two.
goals. Hattie for Marco as well. All right, and that is the Man City game. So it's what final result? 4-3, 1-2-2. I don't know what is it.
5-0.
5-0.
Mm,
Jesus.
They could go crazy. They could
They-
go
they
crazy.
could.
Already, man. We're already
They
just.
could. They really could.
Jesus Christ, man. I hate Man
I mean, I think with Bournemouth, it was just a case of just Villa were just bad. So
Yeah.
City's gonna run.
Okay.
They're gonna run.
Yeah,
all over 'em.
that's true. They could go into that game maybe a little bit overconfident, and then they'll
Just
probably
get deflated. 5 minutes in, Holland's first goal.
that'd be nuts.
The fucking foot mom notification that comes in 4 minutes in.
Go. So 5-0,
4-0.
4-0.
I said at least 2 Haaland goals, so I'm gonna go with 4-0.
I'm gonna go 4-0.
6-0.
Damn.
Damn.
Loa. All right. So the next game, very interesting. Arsenal versus Leicester at the Emirates. My first question is: are you guys gonna respect this or not? Like, if not, then just end it right now. Respect or respect?
No comment, bro.
Oh God,
No
you wrote the hot take
comment.
already. All right, so I'm really interested to see how this game plays out. Leicester. Oh my lord.
Hey, yo,
That was me.
that was Arteta. Oh no, it's Haaland saying he saw the light bulb.
Holland during the Twitter space.
I'm really interested to see how Leicester are gonna come out, especially with the likes of Tielemans still being linked to Arsenal, Madison being linked away still. There's still room for things to happen from now until game day. So I'm still interested to see what happens. But Arsenal have a full fit squad. Everybody trained today.
Oh yeah, I saw photos of that.
Everybody.
Vieira, Smith Rowe,
Mhm.
everybody in full training. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna have an interest as long as we get off to a good start, which I think if the game against Crystal Palace was any indicator of that, I think this is gonna be an even better start, especially being at home with the fans. And if you know Arteta, he's drawing some heart with some brain somewhere, and then getting the players somehow pumped up. But I'm fairly confident going into this game. Leicester have slacked a lot in the transfer market. They haven't filled holes in their team. So I'm taking this dub.
Oh,
Say
hold it.
the
hold it.
scoreline. Say
Yeah,
the
we have to
scoreline.
say the scoreline.
It's a prediction game. So say
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
So any thoughts about the game, Nick? I know you want to say we're gonna lose somehow for some reason, but go ahead.
Jamie Vardy, please. Yeah, he never scores at the Emirates.
He used to score against us all the
He
time.
used to.
Yeah.
What was that, like the 11-game run he had or something like that? But yeah, I don't know. Leicester are in shambles right now. Really, nothing going on for them.
2-2. They gave up 2-goal lead the first game week. Even though XG was the same, they still gave up fucking 2-goal lead. So
But one player to watch out for though, from Leicester's side, is Harvey Barnes because I've been like a decent fan of him. I thought he was gonna get a big move. I thought he should get a big move to a bigger club. Just watch out for him. I'm not saying he's gonna do like something in this game, but just watch out for him because I don't know. I've always been kind of a big fan of him. I've always been kind of on the note that he's been kind of underrated and how clubs aren't really picking him up. I think he'd do decent for like Chelsea before they signed Sterling. Maybe Arsenal if Martinelli doesn't kick up. I really do think he's very underrated, Harvey Barnes.
no respect. I'm telling you. I'm gonna use my FB ref website now that I got Harvey Barnes in the 97th percentile for assists.
Against against wingers?
Yeah, in amongst attacking midfielders and wingers, correct.
Yeah, no, Harvey Barnes is underrated.
He's pretty good. Progressive carries, 91 percentile, touches in the
Injuries though.
Yeah, injuries is what
Injuries,
fucked
though.
him up. He really had
Injuries,
like
though.
his
a
his
shot
really,
monster.
yeah, his kick up season maybe like a couple seasons ago. But like you said, injuries really last year. But we'll see where he goes. Honestly, if Newcastle, if the experiment with Alan St. Maximin never doesn't work out,
It won't.
you don't think it will?
He's all showboat.
I don't think it
he's
will
all
either.
foreplay.
He's all foreplay and no.
He's all blue balls.
Honestly, if the experiment doesn't work out, I think he'd be a perfect replacement for ASM.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Good.
I got a stat troll for him.
Oh, let's do it.
He is part of this exclusive list: Kevin De Bruyne, Mohamed Salah, Harry Kane, Bruno Fernandes, and Heung-min Son.
Who, Harvey Barnes?
Yes, and the list is 6 players that have had more than 20 goals and 20 assists over the last 3 Premier League seasons. So he's among some of the Premier League greats. The only unfortunate thing, though, is that he is now injured for at least a few weeks.
Oh, so he's not playing this weekend.
So he's not going to play this weekend.
God.
But
That's
But
what I thought.
a lot of at least from what it looks like, concerning Leicester chatter, is that this is supposed to be his resurgence season. So a lot of people are looking out for that.
All right. So interesting the game. Let's move forward and talk about real quick Brentford hosting Manchester United. You guys have a it's very similar parallels to what happened to Arsenal at the beginning of last season that could happen to United this beginning of this season, right? But my question is, how would you approach this if you're Erik ten Hag? Do you start implementing your philosophy, your style of play now, or do you try to stabilize the team with the players that you have because you haven't gotten the players you want yet, and just try to get the results? So how would you do this? Would you start, build up in the back? Do you obviously that's always going to be the plan, but you want to stick with 4 in the back? Do you stick with that? Do you go 3 in the back? What do you want him to do right now? Short term or
he needs to just play his philosophy.
so stick with.
He needs to play his philosophy, and we brought him here for a reason. He has this very particular kind of game plan, and if he's gonna wait until he gets the right players to then implement his philosophy, then that's just gonna set us back even more because then they're gonna have to get used to his philosophy later. So just implement it now with the players that he has, and then that way he can start seeing, okay, this player's clearly not putting in the work. He's not fitting in with this kind of system, and then that's how he can start moving around, throw in some of the academy players for now until he gets the players that he wants.
Okay.
So he has a game plan. He's got to go with it.
I think the same thing. He may not have the tools to do it though, which is going to be the shitty part because he has to play either one of or both when it comes to McTominay and Fred. And even though I have
Fred all day.
Yeah, Rabiot coming in, bro.
chill, no, hell no. Hell
And
no.
his mother, bro.
Stop. And his mom.
Asia, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't listen. As long as, and I want to make a point about this. Like, back to you guys. The immediacy of the backlash when the Arnautovic deal was announced, and then getting this update a few days later that officially they're not going to pursue that. Does this show at least what the fans have in terms of their opinion power when it comes to what a club does? Like, this is really the times that we're living in, which I thought was pretty crazy.
Yeah. That never happens. Like, can you imagine? Let's say it's like 2000. United signs some player who people think is terrible, like i.e. Marko Arnautovic. Like, that would never happen. They would have signed that player because you have
Social
no
media,
right,
Bro, that's nuts.
Yeah,
That's
like,
the
you
point
won't
I'm trying to
see-
make.
like,
Yeah.
you won't see thousands of people outside Old Trafford for fucking Marko Arnautovic. Like it's crazy, like social media and all that.
Yeah.
But
That's fine though. Marco, you're a racist little piece of shit. So I'm glad you're not trying to
All
Marco
right.
Arnautovic, not Marco behind the camera. Marco with a K.
Nick, so do you sacrifice the possibility of dropping further into the table by sticking to your guns and not having the tools? Because we saw a glimpse of that against I'm drawing black right now, against Brighton. Brentford, we know how they're gonna come to the game. You know who they're gonna target. How would you approach it?
I think you have to approach it a more reserved way and not his quote unquote philosophy. So like I take for example like Eddie Howe coming into Newcastle from like a Steve Bruce side that was very rigid, 5 at the back.
That's true.
Eddie Howe took the initiative to, okay, I'm gonna play expansive football, free flowing players or whatnot. And obviously it's a risk because him taking on from Newcastle, new owners, it's obviously a risk. So I think in my opinion also like Thomas Tuchel when he took over Chelsea, he really made an initiative to all right, get these players who like for example, Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen, Aspilicueta, they're wing backs and really create a five at the back system, 3 at the back system, and start the foundation from the defense, and then from there on implement your actual philosophy. Because I think I think if you implement your philosophy and it doesn't work out, there's already so much pressure on Eric Ten Hag by not even by fans, by rival fans, or just anyone that if he does implement his philosophy and it doesn't work out, I just think I don't know, it'll get messy very fast. Because in my opinion, I think Eric Ten Hag is a phenomenal manager, and I feel like if he implements his philosophy like I just said and it doesn't work out, there's gonna be a huge amount of people who think, oh, this guy's shit. Da, da, da. So
Of course.
so,
I mean, I think the one thing that I mean to that point, yes, if it doesn't work out, what is good about Ten Hag is that his tactics are good enough where he can just change it. So I mean, we've been seeing a lot of like either 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, however you want to look at it, because it's all free flowing anyway. At the end of the day, I mean, he can easily change it up to 4-4-2 with a dime in the middle or something like that. So like he has that in his pocket still because he's used it before. So I mean, he can easily just change it if one's not working out.
I tend to agree with Nick on this one, where I think he should probably not stick to his what he wants to do long term, because obviously if you look at his track record, if you guys stick with him and back him, he should turn out to be a good coach for you guys, a good manager, and get you guys back to where you want to be. But
You're saying survival mode?
it's kind of survival mode right now. If you implement your plans right now without the right tools, and it doesn't work out, you're losing. Like Nick said, you're losing. The fan base is gonna get on you. We all know how the media is. They're gonna kill him, but the players themselves might start losing that confidence too.
like yeah, like does this guy even know what he's doing? Type shit, yeah.
Exactly. So once you have that, then you lose the locker room, and then why would they even back a guy who can't even keep his own players? So I'm in the camp where I think maybe you should tweak a couple things in the system that will get the best of what he has right now, which i.e. 3 in the back, I think would be actually a great idea for them right now. But it's gonna be an interesting game against Brentford, and I think this is a prediction game, right?
No, this one
it's
isn't.
not.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
No,
No,
I
it's not.
have Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, Leicester, and then
Villa.
Villa, Everton.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I like that. All right, so
That's it.
I guess
I think Brentford. I just have this feeling in my gut that Brentford are gonna score first. I got it in my
So,
gut, bro.
Are we gonna bet money that they're gonna obviously target? Well, not obviously, but they're gonna target Martinez with Ivan Toney
Yeah.
Of course. They're
Yeah,
gonna try
it
to.
doesn't always work out like this, but you clearly saw like Brighton targeting Lisandro Martinez, particularly with Danny Welbeck,
Yeah.
and Ivan Toney he is way more superior than Danny Welbeck physically and aerially. So Lisandro Martinez if anyone's watching the game, just keep your eyes on him, and you'll just see how Ivan Toney just starts to drift into his space, because this is probably the striker in the league who can dominate anyone, like more than like Erling Haaland, Darwin Nunez, at least physically in the air, because the way like he isn't even like a 6'4" monster like Erling Haaland is. He just knows how to use his body
He's
so
just
well
a
in
straight
the
up
air.
bully.
Yeah.
Like he's crazy in the
And
air
an
and
asshole bully.
physically. Like so, this is a humongous test for Lisandro Martinez.
Interesting watch this weekend. So Brentford are at home, hosting United. How are we seeing this game going?
1-1.
2-1 United.
I think also 2-1 United.
Okay.
I do feel that that with the Brighton effect and them looking at themselves, they might not be ready to switch it back on, and that's why I was saying earlier that feeling in my gut that Brentford are probably going to score 1st. If United can get that first goal, then that's the one chance that I think that they have for a 2-1 win. So that's what I'm going for.
What's your lineup? Are you still sticking with McFred?
Yeah, that's a good ideal
Fred,
lineup.
Fred
I like
Erickson
that.
and Bruno.
Fred, Erickson, and
That'd
Bruno.
that would be nice.
So Erickson to be the 6 and Bruno be the box to box.
Well, I mean, they'll rotate. They'll rotate around.
Yeah, of course, but like ideally, who's gonna be the ones?
Yeah.
So
Because then doing it that way, and I know I told him a while ago too. Setting up with those three in particular, that's gonna turn Bruno more into a shadow striker, with how creative Ericsson is. So it's another option up top, and Bruno's not gonna be the one to play hero ball, and then just launch it up there.
That's a fair point.
I don't know, man. I worry about that midfield transitionally and physically. I just Fred and Erickson,
Fred's
I
not-
don't know. Like
I couldn't if I'm wrong, but
Fred's-
at least from what I've seen, when he plays the box to box D8, that's probably the
Fred,
best style for him.
Especially
Yeah, of course, because
especially
he just
last
run
season.
and he makes up for his mistakes. Like he'll have the capability to be like, "Oh crap, I lost the ball,"
Then you
hustle
get back,
back, make the challenge, and then be able to rearrange. If he's stuck, if he's static, and then he loses the ball, you saw how many times he was getting turned around by Brighton, and then he would just like lose the ball between two, maybe one marker, second marker, third player makes the run, he gets lost, and then that's it. If he's able to do that roam and give himself space to actually make up for any mistakes that he does have, he also gives himself space to maybe spread a pass out wide, which helps and makes him look a lot better. So I think he would benefit from that.
Yeah, and last season, Fred was always the one that always showed the most. So it always felt like on a as bad a season as we had last season, he was always the one that it looked like
He was a connecting pass.
he was the one
Like,
also
for
giving it his
example,
all too. Like
that-
he actually tried and he left it out.
That
there.
assist to Ronaldo for the Spurs goal in the Spurs game where he was a little bit more forward, and then that game where he was also drifting back and making those defensive challenges. Like he's good at that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, hopefully, he'll get the license to do that. For
so
this
he's gonna
game.
do that all by himself against Brentford.
That's the thing. I
So
don't
you're
know.
going forward and back still.
Yeah, it would have to be because as far as the left back, if we put Malacia there, you'd have to have Shaw agree to at least be a left-sided center back in that three.
He's actually really good. Remember that PSG game?
Yes, which he can do, but again, I don't know if they're ready to have that kind of wing play. They may not. Again, this is what I'm saying. Like, if he does that 3 in the back, he's going philosophy, but he might have to do 4 just to get into survival mode, get points on the board, and not have things kind of fall apart already this early on in the season. So
I what you said earlier, the first goal. If United get the first goal, I think they could definitely go on and win this game because United run on the energies.
they do.
But if Brentford get that first goal, Brighton is gonna kind of get flashbacks.
I can
And,
see that. That's
you
why
know,
I can see that.
So, and I think Brentford are gonna get the first goal. Honestly, just they come out the blocks hard. United, it seems it's kind of needs to build into the game sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So I'm gonna go Brighton. I'm gonna go Brentford. Sorry, I said Brighton. Brentford 2-1. Close game. Scrappy game. 100%. Marco.
Brentford 2-0.
Wow.
No respect.
No respect, bro. We'll come back. We'll come back on Monday. We'll see.
You gotta earn respect, bro.
We'll
Oh.
see.
Ivan Tony Bray.
Chill.
Come back on
way.
Monday. Talk about Ivan Tony Bray.
No
Ivan
way.
Tony Brace.
No, bro. I've been phony.
First
and
of
booty,
all-
and booty brace.
Nah, chill.
All right. So anything else in the Brentford United game? Anything else that
Nah,
you guys
man.
stands out? You guys want to touch on? Real quick
No,
on that?
what's next?
The game of the weekend: Chelsea versus Spurs, a London derby. I think it's a good litmus test for both teams. Actually, I think Chelsea have had a rough preseason. Don't look fully prepared going into the season. Spurs, on the other hand, look like complete opposite. But are we going to see Spurs be Spursy? Or
I think we're gonna see a Spurs performance, man.
Ooh,
I think it has it
really?
written all over it. They haven't scored at Stamford Bridge in 6 games.
Yeah, they stink, bro.
But
against
you
Chelsea.
don't think this is like, again, they made the changes, look ready. You don't think this is the year? Like, this could be the year for them to actually challenge for trophies. So you still don't think that they're gonna be able to get the win over Chelsea? In this
I mean, I know that on the pod it was said that there's the best front 3 in the world on that team, but
and only one of those three actually did anything in the game prior.
so I think at least I don't know. It has Spurs written all over it. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. It has Spurs written all over it. They're going in with momentum. You know, Kane and Son haven't really got off the starting blocks yet. There's probably more from them to come. Perisic looked promising. He finally has maybe some options as the wing backs. Like all the upsides for Spurs just makes it feel like it's gonna go the opposite way. So I think they're gonna be looking at a loss here. However, I also know it's a catch-22 because it's like Chelsea don't really have anything to beat them with. What are they gonna do? They're gonna another Jorginho pen.
For real.
So-
20 goals last.
19. His last
19?
19 goals have all been penalties.
Look, you guys said that last week about Arsenal. Oh, it has Arsenal win all over it, 3-1. No respect. I don't know, man.
You want to give Chelsea respect right
I'm giving Spurs respect right now. And this
Aw.
is like the last thing I want to do.
now?
But look, man, if I'm gonna try to give you my unbiased view right now. Spurs just look good. Yeah, it's Southampton that they beat, who are quote unquote one of the favorites to be in a relegation battle.
Terrible.
But still, you can't discredit the work they've done. You can't discredit what Conte is known to do. So if his track record precedes him, they're gonna do good this season. So
Alright.
I don't know. I think Spurs are just gonna own Chelsea.
I agree. I think this is the game
Oh my
that
god.
Spurs finally get their W at Stamford Bridge.
But like convincingly though, not
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
convincingly,
they're gonna like
convincingly.
just embarrass them.
Like,
I think that.
Nah,
I think so.
no.
in the
way.
Speedo jersey? In the Speedo jersey?
the
In
Speedo-
the
in the
Speedo
front-
no, it'd be
jersey
white. It'd
too?
be white. It'd be white. It'd be white.
Yeah,
It'd be white?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
it will.
Chelsea's home.
Chelsea's blue.
It'd be white.
But
But honestly, I think Chelsea's creativity issues is really gonna arise themselves up again against this Tottenham mid block. Really, I think they're gonna struggle really to create chances, and I think out on a break, in terms, I think the likes of their white center backs of Koulibaly or Aspilicueta are gonna have a humongous job to do, whether they can contain Kulusevski and Heung-min Son. But I think also Cucurella, I have a feeling he'll start ahead of Ben Chilwell.
Should.
I'm really interested to see how he does because in that little cameo he had against Everton, he looked really sharp, and you can always tell players if they really perform in those in that cameo that they get.
yeah,
So
those little
I'm interested to
chances.
see how
And
he
then
plays.
who plays on the right? Sessignon, right? Plays on the right side for
who?
Sessignon.
for Spurs. I
No,
think
no,
On the
Cucurella.
right or
Oh wait, it's on the
Who's
left.
on the right
right?
side?
Left.
Is Perisic on the
The
right?
right is
probably
no.
Doherty or Emerson Royal?
Yeah,
No,
Emerson
I
Royal.
think
Royal,
they-
actually.
Honestly, if Perisic gets to start, this
Cucurella
game,
will run circles around whoever starts on the right.
He's
If-
24 years old. Wow, he's so young.
yeah.
Against Emerson, absolutely. Emerson does not offer. I mean, he looked a little bit promising, but that's because I think it was Southampton, bro.
He's just a funny player to watch.
He
He's
is.
just-
He kind of honestly talk just awkward as fuck.
Yeah.
on the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he makes some bad.
But
decisions.
honestly, if Ivan Perisic starts this game, my eyes are all on him because I've always loved Ivan Perisic throughout his career. I just think he's so deadly out wide and just can take any player on.
who's that?
Perisic.
Perisic.
Oh,
Perisic.
really?
Oh,
On the
this?
bars, yeah.
Oh no, this is Cucurella.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's a-
Cucurella is sharp.
Dude, his everything on the passing and the defending side, top
He's top.
player. He came from the Barcelona academy, and that's already implemented into them. So,
Marco, can you please talk your man's off the cliff, please? Like, tuck him off the edge. He's about to give first prop. He's
Actually,
gonna
you know what? Let me give my results for this game. You good
oh,
with
wait,
that?
it's a prediction game, right?
I don't think
This is
it's
the
it?
prediction.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
I'll
it's
wait
prediction.
later. All right, fuck,
You
fuck.
gotta hold on to it. You gotta hold on.
Hold on.
Alright.
Any thoughts on this game, Gap? Before we go on to the next one and then give our final predictions.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Spursy game.
Spursy
the-
game?
I think it's
Another
gonna
one?
be- it's gonna be.
Yo,
listen,
respect
I said
Spurs,
that
bro.
first. Nah.
No,
I
I
said
know
that.
you did. Yeah,
I'm
it
not
is.
saying that. Tampoco así, pero-
Respect Spurs, bro.
There's no way.
Yo, we have it on camera. You literally fist bumped him for that.
Really?
It was like a wrist.
Don't you feel bad about that, bro?
You still
said
acknowledge
Something
the
about
Look,
Spurs?
man,
still acknowledge
you
it.
can't.
He said it
If
was
Spurs
more
go
than
on to win something this season, it's gonna make you. Let's say that. I know I don't want to put it into the universe. Never mind. Let me just move on.
Please
Then that's why we'll give our final prediction for that at the very end when we do our in-season tournament predictions, which are 3 games: the Aston Villa Everton game, the Arsenal Leicester game, and this London derby. So, last game: Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Will Darwin Jr. start?
Yeah, he'll start for sure.
Absolutely, bro.
He
He has to.
Harvey Elliott has to start as well. The way he really links up with Trent and Salah, and I think even when and it's not because of Harvey Elliott, but when Harvey Elliott came out against City in the Community Shield, Darwin Nunez just exploded. I think Harvey Elliott can get a side out of Darwin who Darwin really needs like a player in between the lines, a player who's comfortable at any angle can supply him. And I think Harvey Elliott, maybe he may not be like for example, like that pass that Kevin De Bruyne did to Erling Haaland. Like,
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott isn't going to do that, but he can support Darwin in terms of in between the lines and helping him and linking them all up. So I think Harvey has to start. And if he doesn't start, I don't know, man. To me, that indicates that Klopp has like some
Doubts?
some favoritism towards players. Because this there's no way he doesn't start Harvey Elliott.
Here comes the agenda.
Anderson,
Nah,
Here comes the
Anderson.
agenda.
Hashtag 14 out.
Harvey Elliott has to start.
No, you know what I'm gonna say as a compatriot. I'm a little bit not worried, but just concerned of how little we're talking about Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz
In terms
hasn't,
of
as far as like anything.
anything.
Don't you just light, you mean?
It could be. It could be
Or-
just. It could be that he's now in the shadow of a player that's probably going to be much bigger, at least in terms of his involvement. But he's supposed to be the natural replacement for someone who is key. And then the butt end of last season, he was lighting it up, and everybody's like, oh, he's doing like the flicks, the rainbows, putting like doing some tricks like bringing it down. What was it? There was one game where he controlled it with
Oh,
like his foot
against-
behind him, or something like
Oh,
that.
against Everton?
Yes.
A little Neymar little thing?
Yeah, a little Neymar control. And then now it's like, yes, I know it's been one game, but still, like, you would think that he would have had more of an impact, especially considering the fact that they played against a newly promoted team that maybe he would have a bit more free range for. I think maybe this game he'd be able to show up a little bit more. But my main point again, going back to it, getting back to it, I'm surprised that we're talking so little about Luis Diaz, or at least I've seen so little about Luis Diaz.
Luis Diaz is interesting. I think right now he's maybe a tad bit overrated. I think when he came in, I thought everyone just saw like the just energy he just brought in. But I think as time went on, I think people started to notice some of his glaring flaws, and some of them are really his decision making, at least in the final third, and his actual shooting technique.
Sure.
His ball striking is very good. Like if you see some of the goals at Porto, his ball striking is crazy. But in terms of actual like knowing when to shoot, knowing how to shoot, he's a little off with that. And then he kind of also has this trait where he dribbles with his head down. And then also in the final third, he can just make the wrong decision. But even though he's still like, he's Liverpool's main ball carrier right now, he really just stretches the pitch, which allows the likes of Darwin to get. That's why I think Luis Diaz, like, remember I said like he won't match Sadio Mane numbers in terms of actual output.
Right.
Mane scored 22 non-penalty goals in 2019 to win a Golden Boot. That's absurd. I really don't think. I've always said like in the front three you need at least 2 goal scorers and at least one creator slash. Yeah, I say creator. I think Luis Diaz is that creator, not in terms of actually assists, but in terms of stretching the pitch and supplying.
Sure.
The goals are already in Darwin and Salah. You don't really need 3 goals in the whole front three. Like for example, like Firmino, Salah, and Mane and Salah were the only 2 goal scorers. Firmino wasn't.
Yeah,
wasn't
makes
that.
sense,
So, but on Luis Diaz, yeah, he definitely needs to improve his actual. I wouldn't say his output because I'm not expecting like 20 goals. I like minimum output. I'd expect like maybe 20 goals in our comps. Or like 20 GA maybe in our comps.
All right, yeah, that's
or
fair.
something along those lines. But I highly doubt he'll score 20 goals in the league. For me, I've always had this theory that he was signed as more as a touchline winger to supply an out-and-out striker like Darwin. Because if you have let's say a touchline winger, it's one of the reasons why Luis Diaz and Firmino don't work, because Luis Diaz is out stretching the pitch, holding the width, and then Firmino is dropping in
he's
deep.
dug in, yeah.
So there's really no continuity to it. So unless Darwin, he can hold up players, and then you have Luis Diaz stretching the pitch, taking on players. That connection is really well. That's why I think Luis Diaz was brought in with the imagination that maybe they had Darwin Núñez already in the works. But Luis Diaz is interesting. Just against Fulham, I thought he had a good game. That the post shot that he hit, that hit the post, that was a real indication that his shooting, he's on it. Just like, for example, last season he would receive the ball and then just take too long to either put it out on his left or on his right.
Yeah.
On that actual receive from Thiago, he actually just put it on his left straight away and just hit it. That's what he definitely needs to do more. But he's still a phenomenal player. But I'm just waiting to see the actual like that. I wouldn't say now he has the it factor. I'm just the little like cuteness, not cuteness, but like the IQ a little bit in the final third. That's it.
Man, my thing was on us right
The
now.
cuteness.
He has the cuteness in terms of at his feet, but
Yeah.
just in the final third.
You saying you got cute feet?
Yeah, decision making. That's it.
You saying you got cute feet?
I guess so. I mean,
Happy feet.
I say happy feet.
All right, so look, this isn't a prediction game, but this is going to be an interesting game. I think Crystal Palace are
I think it's gonna be a blowout, man.
a blowout.
I really do think it's gonna be a
I
blowout.
don't
At
think
least
so.
the last what was it? Last 6 visits that they've had have all been losses, and they've been getting progressively worse.
remember that stat that Mane always scores against Palace?
That was another one
Yeah, that's
too.
a
But he ain't
You
there
know,
no
with-
more.
with
He ain't
the-
there no more.
With the exception of last season being a 4-3 result for a Liverpool win, the other matches Palace haven't even managed to score once in like 5 games.
So I got the last matchups here. I still like the Premier League. They give you the head-to-heads for the last.
That's nice.
That's the only half that has that, right? That I
think
know of?
that
I
know
think
of,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So last year, the last game in January, they lost 3-1. Yeah, they lost 3-1, 3-0, 2-0, 7-0, 4-0. I mean,
We're talking about home games though.
no,
Like
all
for Liverpool.
comps.
If
Well,
I'm not mistaken, Crystal
Liverpool.
Palace are the last team to beat Liverpool at Anfield in 2017.
I'm not saying that's gonna happen,
Was
but
it?
Yeah,
Wasn't
no.
it Watford?
No, it was under. I'm pretty sure it was under fucking. What's his name? The guy that coached West Brom 2 years ago. Sam Allardyce. I'm pretty sure it's under him. Crystal Palace 2017. Unless
No.
I'm thinking the wrong team. I'm pretty sure it's Palace though.
Hmm.
Christian Benteke scored.
I think it's gonna be a blowout. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 4 or 5-0 route.
I'm actually. I don't think Crystal Palace are gonna win, but I guess I could smell like a close 2-1, 3-2 perhaps. Crystal Palace. I think if they come out brave like Fulham, they could give some problem to. I mean, the first game wasn't the best game for Liverpool's defense. So if they come out with progressive, attacking, and definitely keeping their shape as far as in the final third goes, I think they can have some pretty good.
I think that demands too much perfection from Palace though.
But they.
But
yes,
you don't need
100%.
you don't need that
Very
much though,
perfection.
because I mean what Fulham taught us, and I think we spoke about it last season. I think when it
Stay in
happened
the
to
game.
City, all you have to do, you can't play scared. You see a team like Liverpool come in, you can't just suddenly think, all right, we're gonna have to sit back, we're gonna have to try to contain them. No, what Fulham taught us is if you just bring the game to them, they'll make mistakes.
The difference factor here, though, Anfield.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that could easily lead to a 4-0 blowout. But I'm gonna give this game 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1.
2-0 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool.
Oh, you said 4-0, right? That's right.
3-1.
3-1. All right. So everybody gets Liverpool win. It's just not a blowout. All right. So look, that's all we got for at least the matchups. Is there any other game that we didn't talk about that you guys want to talk about?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing else sticks out. I mean, we got Wolves, Fulham. That should be in. Actually, Fulham come off a good result against Liverpool, traveling to Wolves. Wolves still without a striker. Mitrovic scores in this game.
Probably.
No.
No.
No?
I give him a
Actually, yes. I feel
I
like
give him
he's
a goal.
gonna continue his streak. And
Connor
then he's
Cody's
just gonna,
out.
Watch, he's gonna die off in 2 months from now. Watch it.
Damn.
Watch
it.
No
Mitrovic-
respect for Mitrovic.
And
he-
it's gonna be like Pookie.
Bro, exactly. Great example. Watch, it'll be like Timo Pukki and just die out for the last 6 months.
No
of the season.
respect for Mitrovic. Southampton Leeds. Does the American continue? America. Does he continue?
Oh,
Bro, you see, Americans do something well, bro.
Huh?
Americans do something
America's
well.
gonna American baby. What's up? We good taking over the world. Colonization.
what we're good at.
So yeah.
Oh,
I think
result?
so.
A result?
Yeah, I
Up
think
Leeds,
I think it's gonna
Leeds.
be a Leeds
Yeah.
result.
Dude, that fucking Ismail Assar news for Leeds, bro.
That's
that shit
huge.
came out the blue, bro.
That's huge.
Like the money that the Premier League teams are receiving right now. I don't know if you guys. There's this player for Wolves, Morgan Gibbs White, very highly rated player.
40
Who won,
mil,
bro, 40 mil.
That's nuts.
He had a humongous season for Sheffield last season out on loan. Like the fact that Nottingham Forest are offering 40 mil for this player who hasn't even played a proper Premier League it's crazy. And they also want to go out and get Estupinian from Villarreal, the Ecuadorian left back. Like it's crazy, bro. And also remember Hassim Aouar
Oh yeah.
from a couple years ago, Arsenal.
yep.
He's also linked to Nottingham Forest. Like the money in the Premier League is crazy.
Do
bro.
you, and this is a little side conversation, side topic, I guess. But do you think that this is eventually gonna like overinflate the Premier League, where they get all these players on such high wages and such high transfers that they can't offload them, and then, as Banger
So
once said,
are they gonna bring
write
in?
out the contracts, and then the clubs can't get those transfers.
They're gonna introduce the salary caps.
Oh, I mean, I'm about to last episode, right? I mean, listen, all right. But no, do you think that could be a potential, like, or just
I don't
too
think
much
so,
money that
man.
it won't happen?
I think it's too much money. I think it's almost like an infinite like source for Prem clubs to pull from, as far as like the sponsorship deals, the broadcasting deals, how they're like, even with like something as small as changing commentators that we were talking about the other day, and how they're going for people that are recognized because there's a lot of money involved. probably more than I can even like fathom
I was
myself.
saying myself, it's a multi-billion-dollar
Yeah, it's
industry.
huge. I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna catch up to them. I think maybe at the club level.
That's what I mean at the club level. Because like, let's say, for example, I look at Arsenal. Recently the past business has been so bad. Pepe came in for what, 80 mil. We're not gonna sell him for at least maybe at most maybe 30, maybe. That's what a 40 million profit loss. Look at Torreira. We buy him for 20 plus, sell him for like 7.
Arsenal are very bad negotiators when they're selling players.
It's not even the negotiations. I look at it as at the
Like starting
Premier
off
League.
high when buying all these players.
Exactly. You can
and
bring in
then
these
it's like,
players.
let's go
For
high.
example, look at United right now. If they bring in Rabiot, you know for a fact he's going for the money. He's gone from every place to place to place. He says he wants Champions League football. He's not getting it. He's going there for the money. He's going to get a minimum 150, 200K.
Probably.
No Serie A team, no La Liga team is going to buy that off of them after a year or two if it doesn't work out. So then they're stuck with this player. That's the way I look at it. Arsenal, I think that's what the problem is. They scouted wrong, they recruited wrong, and then they can't offload these players, and now we're just kind of paying them off to go. I feel like with these overinflated prices and so much money that you guys are talking about that's coming into the Premier League, it's gonna price out all the other teams in all the other leagues, and then eventually when the contracts are coming up, they're just gonna ride it out, and then the clubs are gonna eventually lose out on what's the profit to gain from that. So imagine Darwin Núñez kicks up for the next 4 or 5 years, and he wants something. He wants. Let's say his ultimate dream is Real Madrid,
I wouldn't be surprised.
but he's getting paid 200K. No team is gonna come in and bid for that because he can't afford that. He's just gonna, and if Real Madrid don't come knocking, he's just gonna wait his contract out, write his contract out. And who's gonna be the one losing at the end of the day? Liverpool. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see how that would happen long term. But to your point, man, so much fucking money in this league. It's crazy. But
Like they literally just got promoted, and like it's not even they're spending money like on stupid players. They're actually spending money on players. So like the majority of the masses agree that all right, this is actually a pretty decent pickup
decent
for,
baller. Yeah,
like Mikkel Damsgaard that Brentford
that
just
signed
picked up.
today. Yeah,
What a humongous euros for Denmark. That's like you don't see like that's a good pickup, man. Like it's the money that TV money, bro. That's shit is crazy.
I think that's really what's gonna buoy the activity as far as like where the money goes and how it exchanges hands.
It's funny how you say that TV money when in England they only show like one game out of the 50 that are on at all times.
It's
a
around
world
the world
sport now,
bro.
but yeah, that's the thing with that's
that
what the
global
separates the
broadcast,
Premier
man.
League from La Liga, from Serie A, from the Brazilian league. If you watch that tifo on the Brazilian league and how they're trying to actually make it explode, they're taking a lot of things from the Premier League. Because what the Premier League did was just market everything, right?
Yeah,
They got into bed with the venture capitalists that are America, so you're welcome. And because of that, what does America know how to do? Make money. Capitalists. We're a capitalist country, so they just kept milking that cow and eventually became the world sport that we know, the world league that we know, the best league that we know. I don't know. Interesting. Let us know what you guys think about these I guess transfers, salary caps, or whatever it is that you want to talk about when it comes to this money game. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Oh yeah, any other games that we did not mention? We got Newcastle. No, sorry, that's last week. Newcastle, Brighton at home. Interesting matchup.
the only thing interesting that I saw was that they have to wear their warm-up kits
Oh yeah. I
because
didn't understand it because the kits clashed.
correct. So
I saw a few that didn't clash.
Yeah.
well, I think maybe on the pitch it probably would.
Oh.
But yeah, you have like the Brighton blue and white stripes. Newcastle had black and white stripes, and then the other one was like a bluish, like a kind of like a navy blue, and then another one was like I think it was I forget it was like a lightish color, but basically they all clashed, and so they have to wear this like kind of like grayish, like almost like teal tinted warm up kit, which had like a print on it.
Speaking of kids, did you see that comment that somebody put when we put the best kit, worst kit video out?
No.
It's like, of course, the United fan would bash on Leeds. Of course, the
Oh.
Arsenal fan would bash on Spurs. Of course, the Liverpool fan would bash on Everton. And I'm like, oh shit,
I didn't even
so
clock that.
true.
I
I
didn't
didn't catch that. I was like, oh damn, hashtag agenda. Hey, he called us out. He's right. I'm not gonna deny that. I was like, that's on point.
Hey man,
Um,
if it's shite, it's shite.
Walks like a duck, sounds like a duck. It's shit. So in-season tournament, we got 3 games on the docket. Let's give these predictions. So Sway already gave his. He's not with us today. He is enjoying his lovely vacation. So we'll see when he gets back. First game. What is it?
Chelsea versus Spurs. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
2-0. 2-0.
All right, baby. All right, 2-0.
2-0 Spurs. I think a dominant performance.
Let's go like this. Diego.
Just to go back to what I said, so I'm not flip flopping.
Oh shit!
I said Chelsea.
You see? Yo, we're going back to the tapes. We're going back to the tapes. We're going back to the tapes. I'm telling you, bro. I'm getting shafted points.
So I think it's gonna be Spursy. I think it's gonna be 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, Gat.
3-1 Chelsea.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Spurs.
Jesus.
Marco.
3-1 Spurs.
Oh, damn.
No way.
Okay.
No way.
I hate saying it, bro.
Josue's ears are tingling on his
Oh,
vacation
right
right now.
now.
He's having some
I
of
think
his life.
something else is tingling right now. He's talking about Spurs right now. He's something else is tingling.
All right, next game: Arsenal v Leicester. Arsenal at the Emirates. Eric, want to start it off?
No, you're good.
All right.
2-1 Arsenal. Put 2-1 Arsenal.
Still not respecting.
For real.
No,
yeah.
Cleety.
Please, exactly.
Gat.
This is a tough one. In terms of the scoreline, I think Arsenal win. Arsenal win.
Honestly, you got my respect.
Arsenal definitely win. It's just hard to decide on the score.
You got a little stain right here, bro. Come on.
It's the cake.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Arsenal.
Oh my god.
All right. I don't know what I should go with.
Scoreline watch.
He's gonna go.
Nah, honestly,
He's gonna say like
honestly,
3-0 Leicester.
I say I'm gonna go 2-0 Arsenal.
He gave you a clean sheet.
3-0 Arsenal.
What?
3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal?
That's very bad right now, dude.
Like even Marco just almost
That's very bad right
Yeah.
okay, but
No, I agree with Eric. I'll go with 3-0 Arsenal. And I will say it's going to be 2 Gabriel Jesus goals.
now. Ooh, he's giving us the. Oh, is anybody else taking a prediction on the goal scores? If you get it wrong, you don't get any points for that prediction part.
Matt
I know.
Madison scores for Leicester,
Okay.
and Jesus brace.
I just copied me right now. That's
Yeah,
fine.
you
no,
copied
and
Eric's
Martinelli,
result.
and Martinelli
No,
gets
no,
the
but
third
the
goal.
results different.
Martinelli is the
Literally-
third
I
goal.
covered him, but he copied me.
2 for Jesus, 1 for Martinelli, and then Madison scores for Leicester.
Oh
And then you're winning the time?
my god. No, hell no.
He said, yeah. I wanna give you the full-
All right.
All right.
Let's move on to the next game.
Villa Everton. Diego.
I said 1-1. I think they're both kind of buns, but I feel like the goals are gonna come from like a pretty bad defensive error. Granted, all goals can be considered a defensive error, but I mean like something like a Salisu level, like
Could be own goals.
you know, like deflected clearance or something like that, like a lapse of concentration. It's gonna be 1-1.
1-0 Villa.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the manager who was the better player. I'm gonna go 2-1 Villa.
Dude, those hate comments coming in right now.
Yeah.
bro.
I'm gonna go. Damn, man. Aston Villa get the better of Everton most of the time. That's crazy. I would have thought the opposite way around. Aston Villa. Yo, did Tyrone Mings get stripped of the captaincy basket?
Yeah, he did.
And
Honestly,
apparently, I
he
saw
did.
something. I think today that someone, I forget who it was, but someone might be interested in buying him.
Tyrone Mings.
Jesus Christ.
I don't remember who it was. I gotta see if I can find it on the Bird app.
Jeez. Honestly, the way Gerrard has managed, like at least man management, it's been kind of weird. So he stripped Tyrone Mings of captaincy.
What do you give it to?
John McGinn.
Oh.
It's kind of understandable, but you're
That's
also
some
causing,
nepotism shit,
you're
bro.
also
Come
causing
on.
like some like dressing room upset, and then like the whole Carney Chukwuemeka situation where he just didn't want to give him his contract.
You did.
He did. That's I don't know. We'll see. What would you say,
I'm going Everton. 2-1.
Marco?
Villa 1-0.
All right, that concludes the predictions for these 3 fixtures.
So we will see what happens in the table, which we still have to get something here to keep everybody updated on that. And now to end. Oh, actually no. Before we get to the last part, let's do our quick matchups for the fantasy draft.
Yes, sir.
So who's head to head this week? Do you have that, Diego, or no?
Yeah, man, I have.
Man, he's ready. Let's go.
I have it ready for you, my man.
Go ahead.
So for our fixtures in game week 2,
Do it.
We didn't have Gat with us last time, but
Oh, you won last time, no?
right now just a little reminder. We're gonna be doing this draft update on our second show. So just to go over the draft position, so far we have Eric with his team Halas in first place with 1 point. I'm in second with 55. Gatsito is in third with 45. Nick is in fourth with 44. Marco, with his famously named Not Last Place FC, is in not last place with 33. And actual last place for now is Josue with 28. So looking at the fixtures for game week 2, I'm head to head against Gat.
A United Derby.
To my right, we'll see how that goes. Josue, who is out enjoying himself, is going against Eric. So Eric might even benefit from the lack of concentration on Jose's end. And then it looks like Marco and Nick are going to go toe-to-toe for this game week 2.
We should get a picture of our squads and put it on IG so people can see how we
Who we
drafted.
got?
Yeah.
we
So
can
we'll
put
try
that
to
together.
keep you guys updated on that. And that's our drafts. And last but not least, look, we got Diego and Gat here, who are devoted fantasy analysts.
Chill.
Take their advice at your own risk.
Disclaimer,
Yes.
because I got hit with that all season last time. So
fantasy 15
disclaimer.
or less.
Yeah, fantasy 15 or less. So for this part of it, we're going to be going over some fantasy tips and some players to watch, some players to dump, and basically some overall tricks and suggestions that you may or may not want to take in order to better your fantasy endeavors. So as far as the classic game, we're running a draft on the bench, but for the classic game, we do have our BenchWarmers League up. For anyone that is that was part of it and you had a team, you should automatically be enrolled. But we can put that out for you to just plug right into the league whenever you'd like. We can post that code so you can join the league. You'll be able to be updated with whatever week that you decide to join with the points that you have currently for your team. And there's 5 players I have on the top of my head right now, Gat, that we can probably go over and talk about, players that we kind of need for your squad.
All the usual suspects.
Yeah, the usual suspects. And we'll start with number 1. I think number 1 is going to be Mohamed Salah. A lot of people were ridiculously crazy enough to not go with Salah for the first
We
week.
have one.
Definitely
right
not
here.
me.
For the first
hold on.
week.
Am I ahead of Gat? Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, you
are.
hold on.
Oh, whoa! Where's Gat? 13th place, Gat?
Guys.
And he's an analyst? Oh,
One game week. One game. This was a game week where anyone who had either Zinchenko or Kulusevski or both automatically easy 65, 70 points right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's literally all it came down to.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
For us Harry Kane owners, should I drop him for Darwin Nunez?
That's actually that's actually a very nice for Darwin Nunez is viable. So I'm gonna go into that two-headed, and I'm glad you asked that question because we can kind of dive right into it. He's part of our list of players to watch for. So Mohamed Salah, greatest player in the game as far as fantasy is concerned, top scorer. If you didn't have him in your team, I would really, really suggest you make the transfer to put him in. Harry Kane. So some people, like myself, I gambled on Harry Kane. I gambled on him
me too,
because
me
I
too.
thought, you know what, it's against Southampton. They have a 100% loss record. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe he scores once. And then right now, for the second game of this season, we see Man City going up against Bournemouth, and they're licking their lips. Literally, everybody that has Haaland is licking their lips with that captaincy as well. Making the switch, though, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because
If you didn't make the switch already,
yes, if
you
you didn't make
might
the
be
switch already,
screwed.
you could be priced out because
live, live priced out. Because
yeah,
Diego's been playing fantasy a lot longer than me, but this is a scenario where I haven't seen anything like this. Literally, as soon as Haaland scored the second goal, I don't remember what the exact number was, but it was at 6 figures. So many people transferred out Kane immediately.
and
And then before the actual price changes went into effect, hours before, it was already guaranteed that Kane was going to fall just because of how much activity there was getting him out and getting Haaland in.
so I have those numbers for you. Approximately over 700,000 managers decided to knee-jerk transfer in Haaland, and close to 500,000 managers immediately took Kane out. So in the case where people may be priced out, if you do not have Darwin, definitely go for Darwin. Darwin is number
Disclaimer.
Darwin is number 3 on our list of players to watch out for. So far, if
Confirmed.
you can help me.
Confirmed.
So,
So,
disclaimer,
look,
disclaimer,
witness-
disclaimer.
nails on me.
Wait, what's the price tag on all 3 of these players? Right now?
So right now, Haaland having risen in price, the benefit of Kane and Haaland was that they were both priced at 11.5. So as far as the classic game, you could do the swap. Now that Haaland went up because of all the transfers in, Haaland is now valued at 11.6. And technically, for people that don't have an extra bit of cash in their bank budget,
Thank you, Nico.
you would have to make 2 extra transfers in order to do that. So Haaland is 11.6. Kane actually went down to 11.4. And Darwin, if I'm not mistaken, is still steady at 9 million.
Ooh.
So Darwin being pretty much cut rate, I think that if you don't have Darwin and you want to get rid of Kane, you should do that.
I think I might do it.
Now, playing devil's advocate, though, there are people who are deciding to stick by Kane because Spurs have pretty much a good favorable set of fixtures for like the next 3 or 4 games. So do City. But if you don't want to waste that transfer, I don't see there's anything wrong with sticking by Kane. If you can afford to switch to Haaland or Darwin and you don't have either of them, I would probably do that. And the other 2 players that I'm going to mention, which are it's interesting to see how the numbers have kind of jumped on this ship. But Martinelli is someone that has come up, and that's one player that I would definitely suggest people get into their midfields. If you go with the 3 forwards, how many forwards do you have right now, Gat?
I have 2.
Some people that have 3 forwards, and it would be a lineup somewhat of, let's say, Haaland or Kane, Gabriel Jesus, and Darwin. You have to go a little bit light in the midfield. And so someone like Martinelli, priced at 6 million, is definitely going to be an enabler for your budget, and he's absolutely involved with their attack. The comeback of Smith Rowe in full training is a little bit of a wrench in that plan, but I don't think that it's going to hamper Martinelli's chances as far as minutes right now. He's right now the dedicated starter. I think how they vibe with Gabriel Jesus and him up top, I think is also beneficial. Smith Rowe has, we saw that he has that lethal finishing attribute. He was like coming on for like 5 minutes and still scoring a goal, so he can definitely do that. But Martinelli, 6 million, I think is someone that you should probably look into getting for your team. And the last name that I have here is Joao Cancelo. Joao Cancelo, we saw with this ridiculous inverted fullback formation where he was in the midfield, spreading passes at the top of the box, taking shots, and I think he's definitely just someone that's essential. The way I would view, or I would suggest that people view Cancelo, is to look at him as like almost a 7 million midfielder, even though he's labeled as a defender. If there's a midfielder doing all the stuff that he's doing, you would definitely put him into your team. So at least that's my train of thought as far as Cancelo. So the 5 players to watch, at least for Game Week 2, because you kind of want to stay with the pack, especially now that people are engaged. So many managers are engaged. So it'd be Salah, Haaland, Darwin, Martinelli, and Cancelo. Those are 5 players that I would say that you would have. I would recommend having at least 3 of them if you can. Obviously, you can, vary a little bit, but that's again up to you.
Yeah, I sent this to Diego. I think it was yesterday. So Darwin Núñez accumulated a combined XG plus XA, that's expected goals and expected assists, of 2.19 in 39 minutes against Fulham. For me, as a Liverpool fan, I've always said it, like, this guy is an XG magnet. So in terms of actual fantasy goals, I think he'll be essential in my opinion in the future. So,
And then one of the good things too, if you are in that camp and you're probably going to go down into Darwin, is just the amount of money you're saving. Well over 2 million you're going to save on Darwin, and that's also going to enable you to upgrade that midfield.
Yeah.
So just especially going forward in the next game against Bournemouth, if you do downgrade to Darwin, you're probably going to be holding on to someone like Leon Bailey, probably a Pedro Neto, Rashford, even the popular midfield choices. Going down to Darwin is going to give you that extra cash to try to splash on that 7.5 to 8.5 million spot, which there are some pretty good midfielders in that slot. Just one name that I do want to throw out there as well, especially against Bournemouth and just the way we've already seen it work, Gundogan. 7.5. That's a little bit more on the differential
Yeah,
side.
I would say differential side.
But if I think someone mentioned it earlier, that's Pep is already having his guys to play the specific way to actually watch for those runs and actually feed everything to Haaland. We know Kevin De Bruyne's going to do it. Gundogan also playing in that midfield. He's another one that's going to be able to pick out those passes. So dropping down to Darwin, you could also potentially be looking at someone like Gundogan, just to have that additional city coverage. We all know Pep Roulette is always something you want to watch out for. So there's always a risk with any City player that's not Ederson or Cancelo or Diaz, pretty much, because that's just you never know who's going to actually play. But that is definitely one to keep an eye out. And then also, actually, I was looking it up earlier in terms of big chances created in just the first week. Jack Harrison actually was top.
That's crazy.
Jack Harrison was top for big chances created. He is, I will tell you in
It's crazy, especially considering that probably like just looking at what the Leeds game was. I think they could be differential assets to look at.
And he's only $6 million, Jack Harrison,
because they'll be cheap and they'll definitely be heavily involved for their team. Like
and then
you can see Jack Harrison being that guy. Where maybe for other teams, maybe like a Chelsea or a City, you kind of have to take your chances with.
And I know, I think if I'm not mistaken, it might have been Unico that said it, but someone said it that now with the lack of these players that Leeds just lost, and Calvin Phillips and Rafinha, who's left to be that guy? Jack Harrison is the one that you would most likely think would take up that mantle.
The other guy had Gerhard. His name?
Gelhardt?
Joe Gelhardt.
Yeah, him. Is he back?
He is.
Joe Gelhardt is back.
He's $5.5 million. He's going to be annoying. And the reason being is because Bamford is back. He's more or less fit. However, even before Bamford got his injury last season, it was always a case of if Bamford did not do anything by the 60th, 70th minute, Gelhardt will come on, or somebody, Rodrigo, will come on. So Gelhardt is going to be a tough one because he's good to just sit on your bench, especially this season. This season, especially with the 5 subs, it is crucial to have a decent bench.
Yeah.
Because with 5 subs, you just never know who's going to come out at any given time. So Gelhardt is going to be one of those players where it's good to have on the bench. It's just a matter of you just got to either hope that Bamford does so bad that Gelhardt comes on early enough and actually does something so that he can come on and get you some extra points. Or it could be a case where on the other side, Bamford actually does well.
Can I throw a name out there? Just want to, maybe it's my hot take. I don't know. Who knows,
All right.
If you want to, invest some money into a solid center back and save some money, not invest, save some money on potentially the best center back is gonna hit the Premier League, Saliba. He's gonna be better than Van Dijk. Clip in a few years. Okay.
Yeah.
No, this triggers. Agreed. I can't wait how many people get triggered in the comments. But Saliba 4.5.
Yes.
Clean
yes.
sheet. I think he's a solid pickup, man. Nick's
Saliba's-
laughing at me, but I said, Nick, look, you saw the light with Haaland, you will see the light with Saliba. All right. That's all
Saliba
I'm
at 4.5 is a decent shout. One, because he had an incredible game stats wise, but two, Arsenal are actually among the top 5 for fixture difficulty for the next about 6 games
Yeah.
because their next few games, I have it right here in front of me. They have Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, Villa, United, Everton, and I would say probably all of them, with maybe the exception of United just being, I don't know, probably a nuisance. I think it's something that they could probably take for them. And in that top 5, at least for what I see, I know we were going back and forth about this a little bit, Gat, but essentially Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea make up that top 5 for fixture difficulty. I'd also probably throw Man City in there, but all of these teams only play at least one of last season's top 6 for the next, I would say, 6 games. So if you want to target those players, whether or not you want to bring in Welbeck to your team, I wouldn't recommend. But even since we were talking about him,
Trossard. We're talking Brighton.
I don't know about
We're talking
Trossard.
Brighton.
I would
He's
probably,
annoying.
even though I have my own, this is my agenda against Ivan Toney. If you want to bring in Ivan Toney as probably a cut rate striker, so you could spread your funds a little bit among your team, that's really it. So I think that's going to be our segment right now for the Fantasy 15 in 15 minutes or less. What's
We
the
are
time marker
at-
that we got? What's the time marker that we got?
The time marker.
13.
Yeah.
13 minutes. Guys sleeping right now.
13.
Under the 15
Bro,
minute
you're
mark.
I have
Let's
it
go.
right here.
Let's
Yeah, look
go.
at it right
Nick,
there.
you know something
I'm trying to get you involved.
I'm watching this weekend is Scamacca against Nottingham Forest. You know, after all the links Arsenal had and the breakdown videos that I've seen. Oh my! I think my mic is
His mic is dead. Yours is good.
okay.
Yeah, it's still
Well,
working.
look, I think we're done, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're done. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, everything down in the description below is where you can find our Instagram, our Twitter, all our handles. Give us your banter. Give us the interactions. We're here for it. We want you on the bench. We want to hear your opinions too. So come share them. We are across the pond, but we can do Zoom calls, so it's not a big deal.
Give us your fantasy shots too.
Yeah, give us your
Yeah.
fantasy shots. Let us know how your team is doing. But I think with all that being said, again, happy birthday. I
Thank
hope
you,
you
thank
enjoyed
you.
the cake. We are the BenchWarmers, the bench with the voice, where the bench is always warm. Peace, everybody.